today I'm an evil wicked witch for look number 4 in my Halloween week, and now we're going into Halloween week number 2. So this is the look I'm going to show you how to create today, which is a wicked witch of the West with a touch of glitter. Alright, so let's get cracking and create this look, Wicked Witch. Hi guys, welcome back, and it is finally almost Halloween. Thank you all so much for watching Halloween week last week on my YouTube channel, and for those of you that subscribed and liked the videos, thank you so much. It's actually just been so nice to see your comments and get the feedback on the video, so thank you very, very much, and I hope you will keep watching and subscribe if you haven't already. Do it now. Okay, so last week obviously there was a few technical hiccups and I apologise for that. So as you can tell, I've still got this horrific cold, but I'm battling on, and I was working so much of last week, so you guys know that I have started a very exciting new job. Which I'll fill you in a vlog soon, and still working in healthcare as well. So unfortunately things didn't quite go to plan with the uploads, so what I've decided to do is a second Halloween week starting today. So I'm going to try and do 2 to 3 extra videos this week for you in the lead up to Halloween, which I think most people are going to be sort of going out and partying this weekend, with Halloween being early next week. So today's look is going to be a pretty iconic Halloween figure, and that is going to be the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. So if you've watched Wicked, one of my absolute favourite London shows, then it's a pretty amazing look. So she's got a fabulous red lip, obviously that enchanting green skin, which is always a bit of a challenge makeup wise, especially as I don't have any face paint, so I'm going to have to find a way around that. I've really got to get organised for next year. And obviously just accentuating the features with lots and lots of black eyeliner. So I'm going to give that a go today. So today is Wicked Witch of the West. Let's get cracking. Okay, so the usual skincare routine: cleanse, tone and moisturise, and I've applied a primer. So first things first, I'm going to start with a normal base to pop the green on top of. So today I'm going to use Rimmel's Lasting Finish Foundation. And that is going to be in 103 True Ivory. This is a pretty full coverage for me, but I quite like that for these sorts of looks. I'm just going to pop that onto the sponge. I'm not going to be too crazy about it. About applying this one, doesn't have to be too perfect, as we're doing something completely different after. So when I was growing up, I was actually quite scared of the Wicked Witch of the West, because it was my granddad's favourite film, so we watched it quite a lot. Yeah, I was quite scared of her, especially when she's like with the monkeys and "I'm gonna get you, my pretties, and your little dog too." Yeah, just really disliked her. No offence to the actual actress. I always wanted to be the Good Witch Glenda, which at the time my mum was like, "You can't dress up as something pretty for Halloween." Mum, I'm sorry, but you were wrong. Really wrong. Have you seen Pinterest lately? It's all about being pretty on Halloween. You can be a cheerleader if you want now. One to me, Mum. One to me. So yeah, you can do pretty for Halloween, as you will see on my channel. So yeah, if I was gonna do anything, it would have been the Good Witch Glenda. And I might do her makeup because it's so ethereal and pretty. Almost like being an elf or something. Lord of the Rings. So I'm a little bit stressed. I've got a few blemishes with starting this new job, so I'm going to conceal them now using Boing by Benefit. So just a nice quick conceal under the eyes. And same on the other side. So if you're just doing a quick conceal, the nice thing about using your fingers is assuming that they are clean, is that, and that your makeup's clean so you're not spreading bacteria. The nice thing is that your fingers will actually warm up the makeup and help you to blend. And then you can always finish with the Beauty Blender. Okay, so I'm not bothering with any highlighting or illuminating yet, or any contouring, in the sense of got to get this green face on. We are going to be doing a lot of eye makeup today, so I'm going to use an eye primer and I'm going to use Stay Don't Stray by Benefit. Just going to apply that onto the lids and a little bit underneath and just blend that in, and that's going to act as a nice base for this heavy eyeshadow that we're going to do later to sit on top of. I want to say thank you to everyone who's given me helpful advice, comments, and even the people that give me constructive criticism recently in regards to my videos. I really appreciate all of it, because obviously it's a huge learning curve. Even now from the first videos, my best friend said to me the other day, you're actually so much more natural because you're sort of letting go and enjoying yourself, and I really do feel that way. It's not easy talking to a camera and imagining you're talking to a room full of people, because that's essentially what I'm doing here. You're just all in your lovely homes right now, watching me on your sofa, I hope. Hi guys. So that's essentially what I'm doing. It's quite nerve-wracking actually. So hopefully I'm getting the hang of it a little bit, and I hope that you guys are really enjoying it as much as I am, because I'm having a blast doing this with you. Okay, so we primed the eyes, so next is the most difficult stage, the green face. So as I said, I have been awful at planning for Halloween this year with all my work going on, so I have no green face paint. Yeah. So it's going to be eyeshadow, so it's going to take a while, but I'm up for the challenge, so let's go. So it's actually quite a dark green on her face, so I could use something like that. It's a little bit bright, maybe I'll mix that in after. So I believe you have to excuse me sniffing, I've got the worst cold in the world. So I believe I'm going to use this green. Don't know if you can see that. It's quite an emeraldy green, and that is from, that's the Shimmer Cube palette 22, and that is from the Body Shop, and it was a quartet. Is that what you say, quartet? Of shimmer cubes in different shades of green, which is one of my favourite colours. Actually, I'm just going to show you my absolute all-time green eyeshadow. This was the first green eyeshadow I ever got, and I think I probably bought about 4 to stock up with. This is really bad. This is years ago when I worked for Boots, and I became a bit of an obsessive Lancome fan, just because at the time nobody else was really doing eyeshadow colours like they were, and this one, funny enough, very relevant, is called Emerald City. 125 Emerald City, and it was a that's the Exceptional Wear Smooth Eye Colour, and that was a limited edition collection that they brought out. There was another one called Purple Rain, which I really loved, but this one, Emerald City, was just perfect, so I might add that in later. Still one of my favourites to this day if I wear a green eyeshadow. Okay, so that is a super dark green emerald colour. So the case is, how am I going to apply this? I think I'm going to take try a beauty blender first, but I think in all honesty it's going to be a lot of brushing and blending. So here goes nothing. Bear with me guys, this is going to take a while. Okay, so let's, oh, maybe not as long as I thought. So let's just start applying that to the face, just as if it was a foundation. Get it all on, you can blend later. This is like being in the army or something. Mike's going to come home at lunch and be like, I'm married to a crazy person. Actually, I think he probably already thinks that. And there's already green eyeshadow on the cream carpet. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, so that's gone on quite nicely, so I'm just going to fill out the gaps and keep blending. See you in a minute. So that actually didn't take as long as I thought. So we have our essentially green face now. It's probably going to need a little bit more blending, and it hasn't, as its eyeshadow hasn't sat so well on areas with bigger pores like the nose. So I'm just going to take a smaller eyeshadow brush now and do a little bit more of intricate blending. So almost like contouring, what I'm going to do now with that blending eyeshadow is take my Butterfly palette by Urban Decay. This is one I use quite a lot at, two that I use quite a lot at Halloween. So I use a mix of Hijack, which is this lovely, lovely emerald green there, again, but a bit more metallic, and Bender, which is a little bit more flat. So I mix those two and almost use those as you would for contouring spaces. So I'm just going to take that down the nose and on areas that need a little bit more attention. Now this is going to be the area that maybe takes just a little longer. Hopefully this will give us some sort of natural highlights that you would possibly get across the face. It's an extra colour tone to the face. I'm going to take this under the eye and up. Gives a nice base to put the black on later. Okay, so now I'm just going to give that a blend in as well. Remember to leave your lips clear for the red lipstick later on. The nice thing, at least with eyeshadow, is that it blends fairly easily. It's just going to take a while. So maybe, I think what I'll say is, if I'm doing this next year, I'm totally going to go out and get some face paint to do the green. Probably a lot easier. That being said, eyeshadow is going to wash off a lot easier, and if you get a sudden invitation to a surprise Halloween party, everybody's got a green eyeshadow in their drawer, so you can do this on the run. Last minute. Okay, so I'm just going to give that all a proper blend now. I'm going to take that blender brush and give that another blend now. Happy with the blending, needs a little bit more, but what I'm going to do now is take some glitter gel in green and apply that. So she's going to be a glitter Wicked Witch of the West. Always check that it's okay to apply to the face before you do it. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but glitter is applied. So I now just need to let that dry, and I need to fill in the areas that have gone a little bit sparse. Take a fluffy brush, once this is dry, and just fill in those areas. And do a little bit of fine blending really. So it's this bit that's going to take a little bit of patience and time. So I'm literally just filling in holes, just swirling and blending. And actually it's giving a really nice depth to the face now. More blending. More blending. I'm going to have super muscles after this. Yeah. I'm actually not going to take it down onto my neck just for pure time reasons today, but I guess if I was going out I would take it all the way down to here. Okay, so blending done, and actually because it's an eyeshadow and I've used a mix of the metallic and matte, it's actually given it quite a bit of natural contouring, which I quite like. So now I'm going to do a little bit of contouring with the shadow itself. So I'm going to take the Hijack, which is the emerald coloured one from Urban Decay, on that same fluffy brush, and just do a little bit of natural shading along the cheekbones. Obviously we're going to accentuate them because she's meant to be evil. That's just going to give us some landmarks for later. I'm going to apply this under the eye and start building that up. And now, guess what? Yeah, you got it. More blending. Not really sure if I'm starting to look like a witch or something out of X-Men. It's definitely freaky. I quite like it. Next I'm going to take MAC's Look in a Box Miss Violet, which is again one of my favourite palettes. A little bit old now, probably need to replace it. And I'm going to use the flat black. So I'm going to use the flat black from MAC's Miss Violet. And we'll find out what that is called and include it in the contents list at the end for you. I used to know what that was called. Not one that I use very often. It gets used around Halloween, I know that. Okay, so basically I'm using the flat black to just do a little bit of contouring along that cheekbone, just where we plopped the emerald before. And I'm still using that small fluffy brush just because it gives me like the artistic control really, and a little bit more. It's a lot of small blending and it takes time, but it gives me a little bit more control than using a large headed brush. So I'm also going to take this flat black and take it under the eyes because she's wicked, you know? She's not getting a lot of sleep in all her evil plotting and planning. So she's got some fairly heavy duty bags. No need to be fairly neat with this, just bring it under like a shadow and blend it out. Next to it and take that under now as well. I've got to go outside and hang my washing out in a minute like this. This is where we want to stop though, because we want to take it to, don't want it ending up looking like a zombie. But she's got sufficient bags. And take a little bit. Again, like contouring, just onto the cheekbones and blend up. Really sharp shapes here, really sharp. And more blending. I'm going to take that flat black into the eye now, into the crease, not on the lid, and just blend back and forth. Again, not particularly precise or neat. This is meant to create an inset eye, make the eyes darker. So in and out and flick outwards and slowly start taking it higher up the orbit bone there, but not as far as the brow. Okay, so we're starting to get that contoured look. Okay, so I'm going to use my Victoria's Secret Naturals palette, which I love. I'm going to use a soft metallic grey. The nice thing here is I'm not using a lot of brushes. I've used Beauty Blender so far and this brush is fabulous. So I'm going to use that same fluffy brush, and this is just going to be across the cheek for a little bit of soft highlighting, because you know she's evil but she likes a bit of highlight. She's sitting there saying no, that's just you Danny actually, but yeah, it's Halloween, you can still highlight, let's do it. Down the nose, under the eye, I told you. I'm all about Halloween's pretty looks, not scary really. I'm pretty crap at this really, aren't I? For this look, I'm supposed to add lines underneath the eyes to show that she's got wrinkles and that she's evil and bad. The sad truth is I'm probably not going to have to. I actually have dehydration lines. It's been such a tough week. But it works for the look, so you know, work with what you've got. Okay, so next I'm going to do some shadow on the lids. So I've seen a couple of different ideas for this look. A lot of people stick with green. A lot of people throw in purple. So what do you think? I think the purple and the red would contrast quite nicely. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use a mix of the Urban Decay Butterfly palette, and I'm going to use Blue Bus, which is interesting because I think that looks more purple, but it's called Blue Bus, and Gravity. And yes, I'm going to use the same fluffy brush. So start with Blue Bus, load it on, and take that all over the lid. Same on the other eye. And just keep building that up. So you're just almost patting it onto the lid. You don't have to really worry too much about transference with this because we're so dark underneath the eye. Just keep building up until you get the look that you want. I mean, she's really mixing her colours here, bless her. But how nice is it to break the rules with makeup? And I would say she's probably not that great at applying her eyeshadow or blending, so don't be too neat. Okay, so now I'm going to take the Gravity, and that is the shimmer. So this is a beautiful Urban Decay palette that my husband got me years ago, but I absolutely love it. And I get it out religiously throughout the year for things like this, but during the year for normal makeup I absolutely love the Midnight Cowgirl, Midnight Rodeo, Zephyr and Skimp. I'm going to take a small brush and I'm going to now, ooh, there, out of focus. So I now have my purple eyes. I'm going to pop a little bit of the white Zephyr in the eyes, just in the corners, in a nice V. It's going to define the eyes, which is exactly what we want for this look. Under the eye I'm going to take a little bit of Zephyr to highlight. Right up into that arch of the eyebrow. Think Cruella de Vil here, or Morticia. How rude for it to stop recording. How dare you? Okay, so just keep building that up. This is going to help us when we accentuate the eyebrows. Just take that down to the purple. Just going to make sure that the purple is really out into the corners, so take that Gravity and really blend it out and in. What I'm going to do is take the Blue Bus, that's the violet-y colour, and take it underneath the eyes. So she's having a violet smoky eye as well. Okay, so we now have a purple smoky eye going on. The nice thing about these looks is you can just do what you like. Let's take... No, that wasn't take that, or something else. Do what you like. Maybe it was. Take that. No need to tell me. I just noticed that Take That going back on tour. So excited. I remember like seeing them when I was a kid. It was just amazing. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the Urban Decay Heavy Metal, and that is in Power Ballad. Thanks, Rach. Love you. Apply that to the back of the hand. Take take that small little Real Techniques brush. And that is my Real Techniques detailer brush. Just got these brushes, I'm really loving them actually. And just take that over the lid. So she's wicked, but she's glittery because she's cool enough to have access to an Urban Decay. So Land of Oz is a pretty cool place to live, I think. My red lip. So for this I'm going to use my absolute favourite lipstick, and that is Lancome. And that is 104 Rouge Vibration. And it is a beautiful, I've nearly run out, I'm going to get another one for Christmas. It's a beautiful pillar box red, which is my favourite throughout the year, but I love it so much at Christmas. And I use so much of this, I almost can always count that my husband will put one of these in my stocking every year because he knows how much I use it. Okay, so let's apply that. Sorry about being too neat with this at the moment. How beautiful is that? Complete clash of colours, but just what Wicked Witch would have gotten for, I believe. On top of that, I'm going to add some Kat Von D, and I'm going to use Outlaw because it is such a vibrant red. I'm going to do brows. So it has to be said that she has some pretty exaggerated brows. So I'm not actually going to use a brow product for this because I don't think it would be enough. So I'm going to use an eyeliner. So I'm going to use Special Eyes by Rimmel, Precision Eyeliner by Rimmel, and that is in 161 Black Magic. So the nice thing about this is you're not going to have to be too neat. So just follow your natural brow to start with to create that first shape. Just work through the hair, little hair-like strokes. Don't rush with this, we're going to build this up. Now at this point everybody usually has one brow that's slightly longer than the other. It's this one for me. We're going to exaggerate the arch and exaggerate that line there. That's what's going to give her the evil look. So take that all the way down. Up to that arch and down. And just same for the other side and fill in. So that was a little bit awkward. I just had to open the door to the postman. Michelle, not that postman, don't worry. Yeah, he looked very bemused. It's Halloween, I mean, I'm not the only one doing this. Same for the other eyebrow, so I've just massively overdrawn it, massively overextended it. So, over-exaggerated brows all the way down. And again, they don't match pretty much. And again, I'm not too fussed about them not matching so much. I'm going to use some liquid eyeliner, so I'm going to use NYX Collection Noir Liquid Black Liner. And just draw that across the lid. Okay, so I've just lined both top lines and I'm going to flick out now. Ever so slightly. So I'm going to extend that line now. So now I'm going to take my Rodial eye pen in black and line my bottom waterline. Alright, so almost done. Today I'm going to use ELF or ELF's Volumizing Mascara to give us some super duper lashes, and then I'm going to add some falsies. Really build up your coats here from root to tip and back again. The nice thing about this look is there's no such thing as too much mascara for this, so just keep building up your lashes. Alright guys, so here it is, the Wicked Witch with just a little touch of glitter. So I think we're going to name this one Glitter Wicked Witch. So just a little touch of Danny and a little bit of evil. So we've got the purple violet smoky eye, which is really making my eyes look a little bit more green and a little bit more evil, which is good. Over accentuated the brows. They look absolutely shocking, but that's fine. So we used the eyeshadow, the Urban Decay on the face, and a little bit of black shadow for contouring on the cheeks, and of course the Lancome beautiful red lipstick and the Kat Von D to go on top. So I have actually applied a false lash just to give a little bit more drama to that, and there it is. So if I had a little bit more time before going out, I would of course take it down onto my neck, not doing it today purely for time reasons. So I've got this really nice little witch's hat with my veil, and I've just added in some spider earrings. So, and that is my look finished, and an old black dress. So one of the things that I've really sort of enjoyed so much about doing this Halloween week 1 and 2 is that I haven't purposefully gone out and bought anything for this look. This is all stuff that I've had at home to sort of save money, so I'm trying to sort of show you that you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can create Halloween looks just with what you have. So I didn't have any green face paint, so I've used shadow. Yes, it took a lot of time and a lot of blending, but I'm going to get muscles from that. So, you know, use what you have at home. If you can't get to the store to get anything or get a costume, there's plenty in your makeup box that I guarantee you can use to create a witch, especially a Wicked Witch. So I hope you all have a lovely time at your Halloween parties using this look. Really fun to do, I think, and it's really effective, and I think actually it's probably going to be my favourite of Halloween week, so I might use this one on Halloween myself. Right, so that is video number 4. If you enjoyed this look number 4, subscribe if you can, and give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment. That would be brilliant. So look number 5 coming up next. See you soon, guys. That was just the most awful cackle in the world. See you soon. Bye.